27 years ago. Actually, 26 years ago, first time. I was studying philosophy and theology in London. And part of my studies, I had to read the Vedas. So I read the Gita and the Mahabharata and the Ramayana and Puranas and all kinds of, fascinating books. And at that time, I became, you could say, I really fell in love with the idea of Indian culture and philosophy. So I actually decided to visit India. And I was very young at the time. And I remember my father dropped me off at the airport. It was Dublin Airport. And, it was December. It was just after Christmas, because I just spent Christmas with my family. And it was December time. And so it was very cold, because I was in Ireland, Dublin, freezing cold, jackets, trousers, everything. And I got to the airport, and I was really happy, and my dad was saying, oh, I wish I was coming with you. It's going to be so hot and nice. I said, yeah, I know, I'm really looking forward to it as well. And what I wanted to do while I was in India, I wanted to bring back as many things as I could. So I wanted to limit my baggage, So I decided to kind of take a brave move. And at the airport, I removed most of my clothing. In fact, I was wearing a pair of shorts and I had a T-shirt. And I had a blanket that I just kept, just in case. And so I got onto the plane and, boarded and everything, and people were looking at me in my shorts. And I didn't really have a bag, I just had a handbag, because I thought, the less I bring, the more I can bring back. Yeah? Because so many of my friends would bring incense and these amazing carpets and cloth, and I thought, I could also do that too. So I remember landing in Delhi, and this was 26 years ago. Remember, India was very different at that time, right? And so we landed at the airport. It was a pretty basic airport at that time. Now it's fancy and sophisticated. But I remember at that time it was very, it was very different, yeah, as you all know. And some of you weren't born, but most of you might have known. So what happened was, the plane landed, and it must have been about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. It was really late. And it was about the 28th of December. I'm wearing a pair of shorts. I'm wearing a T-shirt, yeah? So, they open the door, cabin crew open the door, look outside the window. Wow, it looks kind of dark out here. I remember opening the door, and my first thought in my mind was, hold on a minute, I think we're in the wrong country. It's freezing cold. It's like, it's like it was, I don't know, it was like, 2 degrees centigrade. And I think, oh my God, it's so freezing cold. I think I made the wrong choice. Anyway, somehow or other, I managed to, get through through customs at that time. That was an experience in itself, 26 years ago. And came out of the airport door. That's when I got my second Indian shock. So as soon as I came out the door, I remember walking out the door. And any ideas what happened? So I was really happy. I thought, wow, that's really cheap, And he was very happy with me, by the way, So he dropped me at this small little place. And it was a small guest house in Old Delhi. And it was a very simple place, loads of cockroaches, It's quite an interest in the bed, yeah. So, and I was on the first floor, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I remember it very well, because I went to sleep. I was very tired, so I went to sleep. At about 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard this incredible sound outside my window. I was on the first floor. And any ideas what the sound was? It was like I've never heard sounds like that before. Any guesses what it was? Temple? It wasn't a temple. Any other guesses? I can see all the, okay. It was, I said, what the, so, I'm a very curious person. So, I went downstairs, and it was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I looked at my watch and said, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, what are you guys doing? I said, they were wearing these funny hats and those socks and the banner thing. And I said, what are you doing? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. If you do this in my country, you'll be arrested, They said, oh, no, it's a wedding. I said, what do you mean a wedding? It's 4 o'clock in the morning, He said, no, this is the special time. If you look at the stars, this is a special time. This is when we have to take the bride to the bridegroom or something. So I thought, oh, wow, fantastic. So anyway, I joined in, and, they were very happy with me joining in this ceremony. But India at that point, you could say I really fell in love with India at that time. I thought, wow, India is it's a pretty amazing country. Learn how to cook and vegetarian food. So I did. So I went to the south of India. I went all the way up to Rishikesh, all the way down to the south. I went to the east, West Bengal, and I went to, you know, all the way over to Dwarka. I was here for about 2 months, and I learned something from every place. When I went back to my house, you know, I left India, that's a long story, but I came back to my house, and I invited a couple of my best friends over and my family, and I started cooking about 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wanted to impress them, you know, with my new Indian cooking skills. So I invited about, you know, 7 or 8 people over, and I made palak paneer sabji, and I made halavar and aloo gobi sabji, and I made rice and Jagannath puri dal and puris, African puris. Have you ever had African puris? They're shaped like Africa, right? You know. So I had African puris, and you know, it was, you know, and I even made kheer. I even made sweet rice, you know. So anyway, we served the meal, cooked the meal. My family were thinking, wow, that's amazing. You know, this is really, we've never had food like this before. And I said, yeah, the Indian cooking is a real science. You know, so I said, yeah, because, you know, they saw the halava when I made it. And I had to make my own paneer, you know. You can't buy that in Ireland, right? So boil the milk and then put the lemon in and cut it and then squeeze it and fry it and all that kind of stuff I did. So at the end of the meal, at the end of the feast, everyone was like, oh, that was so good, yeah? And one of my best friends came to me and said, do you know what, Thomas? Why don't we open a vegetarian restaurant, yeah? And you can be the cook, you know? I said, what? What are you talking about? He said, and we don't have any money either, so you're going to have to collect money for it too, you know? So anyway, I thought about it for a second. I thought, okay, yeah, why not? So let's do it. So we actually did. We actually opened a vegetarian restaurant in Dublin. It was on Dame Street. And, you know, I was going out collecting, raising funds for this whole thing, and I was the cook. My other friend was the chef, the waiter. My other friend was this, you know, would do serving and cleaning and stuff. Anyway, make a long story short, within 1 year, we won an award for the best vegetarian restaurant in Dublin. Yeah, you know. And, you know, students used to come from all over, you know, from the college, because we had like a tally system, you know, the tally system. Yeah, I got that from India as well. Eat as much as you want, but don't take it out. So the students loved it. But there's a reason why we were the #1 vegetarian restaurant in Dublin. Any guesses? We were the only vegetarian restaurant. Yeah, that's right, you know. So, you know, anyway, make a long story short, one day, about 3 years later, one of my best friends came in. And he was organizing these festivals, and one festival of India. And he knew that I was a musician. I had kind of like, I used to play the guitar and stuff and play drums in a band. And he said, do you know how to play the piano? I said, no, I have no idea. He says, oh, great, you can help then. I said, what are you talking about? I can help. He says, I've got this Indian show, and they need someone to play the harmonium. I said, what's a harmonium? So anyway, basically what it was, I think it's there. Could you just give that to me? So this is my passion, you could say. Just going to bring this. What happened was, you know, I went for rehearsals. And basically, we did about 1 hour rehearsals. And he was singing, I was playing. And then we came for the concert. There was about 1,000 people there. And I was the harmonium player. Never played my life before. You know, I had 1 hour to learn. And basically, what happened was, the show started. What we practiced, but what he sang on stage were 2 completely different things. And he was looking at me, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, yeah. But anyway, I owe this to him because this is dedicated to him, because if it wasn't for him, I never would have picked this instrument up or come back to India. So, okay, you can turn it up, please. Yeah. Just 2 minutes. A bit more. Louder. Raja. Raja Hure Sri Nandanandana Bhai Charanarati. A little louder. Put the tablets up a little louder, please. Durlabhama nama janama satsange. Durlabhama nama janama satsange. Aroho e bhava sindhure. Tapa pata parisha. Sita tapa pata parisha. Edina chamini chagire. Primala dala jala jivana tala mala. Kamala tala jala jivana tala mala. Iti kiyachi para Jana sake jana dhvani vedana. Pujana sake jana dhvani vedana. Govinda dasa vilasare. Govinda dasa vilasare. Vajahure. Vajahure. Shri Nandanandana. Thank you.